Today marks 50 years since devastating flooding from Hurricane Agnes hit Pennsylvania.
For one family in Lancaster County, this wasn't their first flood, and it certainly was not the last either. Fox 43's Danielle Miller shares Bob Shank's story of survival for both his family and his business during Hurricane Agnes.
Lancaster County's oldest tavern has a history of flooding. Shank's Tavern sits on the corner of Front Street and Waterford Avenue in Marietta, just a few hundred feet from the Susquehanna. The Shank family has owned the tavern since 1930, and through 90 years of floods, Agnes was the worst.
Well, everybody was in shock because we never experienced anything like this.
Bob Shank was 25 at the time of the flood. He and his brother were happy to get called off their construction jobs because of heavy rain. They had no idea how bad it would get.
The water started coming up probably immediately because for 3 days it had been raining and coming from up north, and a lot of people don't realize that in Marietta it floods you from the bottom up. The water comes up through the storm drains and it gets you from the bottom up.
But Agnes was different. Water eventually spilled over the train tracks and into the tavern.
And I said, when the water was coming up, I said, put everything on the bar. It's never going to get up that high. So that, I never said that again. We had 5 floods after that, and I never said that again. So how high it was, you can see the high water mark up there. It was 6 inches from the 2nd floor.
It took the Shanks 6 months to recover.
You know, we know now that we take every stir stick, we take every chair, we take everything out, and we know what to do. And then you wait till it goes down.
Bob Shank eventually became owner of Shank's Tavern. He says through everything, they never thought of leaving.
And this is family. This isn't something, oh, we went through a flood, we got to get out of here. That's not going to happen. It's too, family oriented to do that.
Shank says the city installed baffles in the storm grates around town to help minimize flooding impacts in the future. Nevertheless, he knows another flood could happen again.
I mean, it's interesting history. I mean, with the climate change and what's going on, there's certainly a chance that it could happen again. Hopefully those baffles are going to prevent another Agnes. But, I mean, if we had a flood of biblical proportions, it could happen again.
Danielle Miller, Fox 43 News.